Alright guys, it's the 10th day of our 21 days writing challenge. I want to believe you're learning a lot right now, and besides learning too, the practice of writing consistently, there's something it does to you. I also want to believe you're watching the training videos and improving yourself. This is the goal of the 21 days writing challenge, and if that's not happening for you, it means you're really not doing everything right and you just need to do better from this moment. So in this video, I want to share with you certain tips and strategies around the common challenges that I see most writers face day to day. And some of the challenges will range from how to articulately express themselves, and what I mean by that is how to stay focused on one idea per article such that you're not drifting to other subjects, and even when you really need to probably talk about other things, it must still lead to the main idea you're trying to pass across in the article. People struggle with that a lot. Then there's the other part of vocabulary issues, right words to express exactly what is on their mind, to the end that the person reading on the other hand gets the message of the writing. That's also one of the challenges that I find that most writers have. The third one will probably be imposter syndrome. Now this is one big issue with people. You spend all the hours to write and you then ask yourself, who will read it? Or you ask yourself, does this even make sense at all? Who am I even to write on this subject? Will people actually read it? Am I qualified enough to talk about this? This sounds like crap, reads like crap. And you end up not posting the article. You end up not sending it out for people to read and give you feedback. One of the issues, aspiring writers face, and some of us who are professional writers, we do face it once in a while. I used to be there. So what are the tips that can help you around that? The other one is writing ideas. People also get to a point and they're dumbfounded. They don't know what else to write about. They don't know what topics to write about again, or they have a topic in mind. They don't even know where to start from and all that. That's also one of the issues that most aspiring writers face. Then the final one, which is a giant also in itself, is the issue of writing consistently. These are some of the major issues that aspiring writers face day in, day out. And so this video is dedicated to providing you some 4 or 5 tips that can help you to handle some of these issues until you become a master of it. The truth of the matter is, some of these things will always pop up, sometimes in your journey as a writer, but you just need to learn how to handle them, how to master them, and how to find your way around them and still do what needs to be done, regardless of how you feel. But there are other challenges that you can actually define a way to master them and master them for life, but they will require work. This is not child's play. This is not some just sit back, relax, and get things done. This is some stuff that requires that you put in effort and put in some hard work. So without wasting any of your time, what are my tips for you today on how to become a better writer? So that's the topic of this training video, how to become a better writer. So what are my tips for you to become a better writer? I have 4 of such tips for you, and I hope while I'm mentioning the tips, I will try to tie them to the challenges that it helps you solve. I want to put that in my mind. So 4 tips that can help you to become a better writer. Tip number 1, read books. How do you get to be a better writer without reading other writers? So in the publishing world, there are people who are already established writers. You have people who have written several bestsellers. People have been established in the industry, writing, back to back and hitting the bestseller rating, making 6-7 figures, selling millions of copies. So you need to read books of these people and books of other established writers who have gone ahead of you. If you are not reading, you can't be a better writer. And what reading other people's book does to you is that it solves a lot of issues. Number 1, when you read other people's books, articles, reviews, research papers, and all that, it also helps you to get a grasp of how you can better communicate. It helps to improve your vocabulary. It also helps you to generate content ideas. If you're an avid reader, you can't be short of what to write about if you read a lot. Let me tell you one thing about me. This year, 2022, today is the 19th day in the month of January. I have read 8 books already in year 2022, and my target is actually to read at least 10 books every month. 10 books every month. At the end of the year, I would have read 120 books if I continue consistently like that to the end. So I can hardly ever tell you that I'm short of something to write about. It's almost impossible. Why? Because reading other people's books open you to a world of inspiration. It could just be one word you stumble on, it could be a sentence, it could just be a subject you stumble on, and you'd be like, no, I think my audience will benefit from me writing something elaborate on this. Then you pick it up from there and you broaden it. The more you read other people's books, the more you get article ideas, the more your vocabulary gets better, because you're going to see words that you need to probably go learn. Then you're also going to see how they put across the idea, and it's going to rub off on you ultimately. So if you're going to become a better writer, the first thing you need to do is to be an avid reader. Remember that saying where they say if you be a good leader, you need to first be a good follower. It's as simple as that. It's a principle of life. To be a good leader, you must have first been a good follower. So if you're also going to be a good writer, you must first be an avid reader. So I challenge you, whatever niche you have chosen for yourself, you need to read books, a lot of books on that subject and in that area. It's going to open you to a world of ideas that you can write on. That's my tip number one. Tip number two is more like it too, quite similar to tip number one. While you're reading books too, you need to watch a lot of movies. Movies and books use words. As a writer, the most important thing to you is words and how you can play around words, which is why it is important that whatever has to do with words, whether it's songs, whether it's movies, whether it's books, you need to actually spend a lot of time consuming those content. Of course, you need to be very selective. I'm not saying just watch any movie. I mean, watch very intelligent movies where words are used skillfully. And one thing I do when I watch movies, I watch movie with all of my mind. And you will definitely find me doing pause and play when I watch movies. Because when I watch a movie and there's a conversation between, say, two people and a word is mentioned that I've never heard before, that I don't know the meaning, what I do instantly is I pause. And that's if I have the control. Of course, if I'm in probably a cinema, I may not be able to do that. But one thing I do in cinemas is if I hear a word that I need to learn, I put it down on my phone. Then I check later. I'll check immediately. But if I were to be watching the movie on my phone, you can bet I press the pause button instantly. I minimize, go straight to check my dictionary. Then once I learn that word, I can continue. Because the other part is, let's say a word was mentioned in the movie that you don't understand. If you don't check for the meaning to understand the word, you will lose out of the plot of the movie, because that word may be very key in the plot of the movie. So I do that a lot of times. And it has helped me to broaden my vocabulary. So you need to read books. That's the first tip. Then second tip, you need to watch movies. And you need to, carefully select the movies you watch. Ensure that they are movies where words are used skillfully. Some very intelligent movies. So I don't mean watching Nollywood, Yoruba movies and all that. Watch some Hollywood movies where native speakers use English language. It's going to help you a lot to broaden your vocabulary. Tip number one and tip number two definitely will help you solve issues around how to express your idea, how to generate article ideas, and of course your vocabulary. You can call it word bank. All of those three issues are going to be addressed by tip number one and tip number two. Tip number three, and this is also more like it, when you write your articles, get people to help you review your articles. One of the things that I've done for you during this challenge is to help you review your articles, give you feedback, tell you when you're not really communicating your ideas very well in a way that the person reading can get it. Also tell you when your topics, your introductions need to be better. As a professional writer, our articles are always subject to thorough proofreading and editing. That's subjecting your article to someone else's view who comes back to you and tell you, oh no, this is not necessary. Why not include this so that it can become clearer? So you need a second person's perspective. You may not do that all the time, but once in a while, give your article to somebody and let them give you a feedback. Or if you know people who read your article frequently, oftentimes just chat them up and say, did you see my last article? The person says yes, then you ask the person, did you get the message of the article? So if the person can get the message of the article, chances are that every other person who reads your article will likely get the message. So oftentimes I do this. I send my friends, chats, the ones that I know are very sound. I send them chats and like, oh, did you read my last article? So what do you think I was trying to pass across? If the person gets the message, man, I know quite a lot of persons too would have gotten my message. That also helps you to be sure that you are expressing the ideas that you want to express articulately. People can read you, understand what you wrote, and get the exact meaning that you intended for them to get. So you need feedback. You need to ask people how your article was and all that. So the final tip, which will probably address the issue of consistency and of course imposter syndrome, is you need to write daily. I know you're expecting me to say something that is out of this world, but no. You need to write daily. If you're choosing to be very expressive, online, offline, or whatever it is, by way of writing or talking, there's always this tendency to feel you're not good enough. But the truth of the matter is, you really are good enough. Now, you may not be part of the top 5 very brained people in the world, and you really don't have to be. If you know something that somebody else needs to know, unless you're writing on marketing or entrepreneurship, for example, the likelihood is there's something you know about marketing or business that someone else doesn't know. So that gives you an edge over the person, and that qualifies you to write and to teach the person. One of my mentors would fondly say, all you need is just a 1% edge over the person you are speaking to, and that's just enough. So I tell you, I put it straight to you, you are good enough. You are good enough to go online, to write, to talk. Whoever cares to listen will listen. The truth of the matter is, you also need to realize that the things you write and the things you say, for example, on a platform like this, is not for everybody. You have your own tribe. There are people you are seeking to connect with. And if you offer value in your articles and your video recordings and whatever it is you put out there, the people who belong to your tribe will connect with you. There's a popular saying that your vibe will attract your tribe. And that is absolutely true. So let nothing or no one make you feel less valuable to yourself, and make you also think that whatever it is you have to write or say will not be useful in the world. There are billions of people in the world, several of them better than you, but there are several of them also that you are better than. So somebody needs to hear your voice, somebody needs to read your article, that what you have to say will change their life. So I tell you again, don't stop writing. Silence the voice that are in your head and write. And do it daily. There's a story of somebody that inspires me a lot, and that's another person than Seth Godin. For more than a decade now, Seth Godin is reported to, it's not people say, I've heard Seth Godin himself say it, he has committed himself to writing a blog post every day for more than a decade, and he has done it consistently. There's never been a day that he has not sent out a blog post. And how do I know? Because I'm also on his email list. I get his post every day. His articles are not sometimes up to 500 words. Sometimes the articles are long, sometimes they are short, but he has committed himself to writing daily. And that's the attitude that's going to help you to get consistent. That attitude is also going to help you overcome imposter syndrome, because the reality is, when you write consistently over time, when you put your word out, you're going to get tons of people sending you feedbacks, telling you that what you wrote blessed them, what you wrote helped them achieve this and achieve that. And that alone is some level of encouragement that can keep you going and keep you firing on. Even though I often tell people, I believe the highest level of motivation is that you're motivated from within yourself, rather than wait on other people to validate whatever it is you're doing. But of course, in business or whatever it is that you have to do that has to do with interacting with people, oftentimes you will need the feedback, not necessarily validation, but the feedback from them to help you know that what you're doing is really achieving its purpose in the marketplace. So I tell you, you need to commit yourself to writing daily. And I don't mean you need to write 1,005 words every day, but ensure you're writing daily. It may be just 20 words or 30 words or 50 words to post on your personal page on Facebook or Twitter or on Instagram, but just ensure that you cultivate the habit of creatively bringing out something from your mind, from your brain every day. Nothing helps you ditch the problem of consistency than committing yourself to that goal. And one of the things you need to do when it comes to consistency is set aside time to write. It's not something you just do when there is time. It's something that you are committed to. For example, one of the things that Gordon does is that he has time set aside in his day when he writes. And once he gets to writing, he does nothing else than write until the goal is achieved. So you need to have that kind of doggedness, to this profession or to this writing skill if you really want to become a better writer. I said it in one of my videos, if not the first, that the only way to become a better writer is to keep writing. Keep writing. The more you write, the better you get at it. And of course, couple that with all of the tips that I've mentioned, couple that together, you have all it takes to get better as a writer. So just my 4 tips for you today on how to become a better writer. I really want to hope that you put these 4 tips into use. Get books and read books. Watch movies, and ensure while you're watching the movie, it's not just for entertainment purpose, you're actively listening, checking for words, And when you hear words you don't understand, pause, go check the meaning. Don't just keep over it like it does not matter. If you are a writer and you care about building your vocabulary, it does matter and it should matter to you. And the third one is you need to get feedback from people. Get people to read your article and let them tell you if they can get the message of your article. If they can't get it, chances are that other people can also get it. And finally, write. Just write. Write every day. Commit yourself after this challenge to consistently write. And of course, the group Emerge Africa is open to all of you who have partaken out of this challenge. You can post in that group forever. Yeah, I'll still be at the back end reviewing the articles and of course giving you feedback once in a while when I can. If I have to reject your article, I'll tell you why the article is declined so that you can work on it. I'll keep giving you tips as the group grows to probably the point where I may not be able to give personal reviews again. But I tell you, I will be committed to seeing that you get better in my own little way. So thank you for watching this video, and I do hope you enjoy the rest of the 21 days writing challenge. I'll see you in the next training video. Peace.